Relying on beta readers to fix your novel isn't doing your due diligence before publishing or querying. It's wasting your time. And in some cases, it might even be making your story weaker. I'll show you why, so you can stop wrestling with vague, conflicting feedback and actually move forward for a stronger story. If you watched the last video on hidden plot holes, you know I value getting a fresh set of eyes on your work. And you worked hard to get that beta feedback, but now you're more confused than ever. You're stuck because none of that feedback tells you what's actually wrong or how to fix it. Let's start with a core truth. Beta readers aren't there to diagnose craft problems. They're not editors, they're test readers. Their job is to reflect what it felt like to read your story through how to revise it. Yes, they can tell you when they struggled or got confused. They can let you know what they loved or what was exciting. That's so incredibly useful. But they're not trained to identify why something doesn't work or how to fix it. And that includes the ones who confidently make suggestions anyway. Beta readers often misidentify the real issue. They'll say the pacing is off when the real problem is that your protagonist's motivation isn't clear enough for them to care. Or they'll say, I didn't get it, when your concept is perfectly sound, but the guiding purpose is too thin. That's not their fault though. It's just not their role. But trying to revise based on that kind of feedback will kill your momentum, or worse, send you in the wrong direction. And it can make you second guess everything. But there's a pervasive sort of belief among authors that beta readers are the key to figuring out what readers want. They figure if they just get enough beta readers, they'll start to see a pattern. They'll collect all the notes and surely the answers will emerge. But it doesn't, because more of this feedback doesn't equal clarity, it usually equals chaos. Why? Because most beta readers are giving their preferences, not analysis. They're filling in for their sense of something missing with their own default favorites. And that makes the patterns nearly impossible to trust. One says your story needs more action, another wants more emotional depth. One thought its world building was its strength, while another thought it was its weakness. One says your side characters are their favorites. Another says they feel like cardboard cutouts. Suddenly, you're not revising your story, you're trying to make 5 different readers happy with a monster chimera of a book. Too many witches are brewing a story spell in the same cauldron. This is where so many authors stall out, not because they shied away from dealing with the feedback, but because they've been led to trust beta readers instead of developing their own editorial skill set. What you actually need is the ability to interpret feedback through the lens of your story's purpose, structure, and arc, so you can tell what's really behind it and what will actually help. That's how professional editors work, and it's something you can learn to do too. But let's be real, you still need another set of eyes on your work. You can't revise in isolation. You need perspective. But if beta readers aren't enough and professional editing feels like a step too far at this stage, what do? This is where critique partners can bridge the gap when they're the right fit and they've been trained in how to work together. A good critique partner writes in your genre, is at a similar level of craft, and knows when to skip grammar edits and go straight for what matters in early stage feedback. They're not editors, but they do understand emotional resonance, scene logic, narrative momentum, how theme and character arc should align, and how to ask the right what if questions. They can reflect your story back to you, help you untangle what's not working, and stay aligned with your vision, not theirs. That kind of partnership doesn't just show up ready to go. It needs shared expectations, structure, and boundaries that keep the feedback process from pulling your story off course. So I created the Critique Partner Program to help authors like you find partners who are trained in the same process and prepared to support each other through early revision. Partners who can help you strengthen, not derail, your story. You'll find the link below if that's something you've been missing. You can also find beta readers for your genre inside the program, since it's exclusive to science fiction and fantasy authors. But more than that, you'll learn how to guide their feedback and use it at the right stage of your revision process. Because here's the biggest problem. Most beta readers don't even know what's expected of them. And most authors don't either. So both sides end up frustrated. Betas are often distracted by surface issues like typos. They feel obligated to comment on something, so they latch onto the easiest thing. Or they give suggestions based on personal taste, not what would actually serve your story best. Meanwhile, writers often expect deep, craft-based feedback, but don't get it, and often miss the most valuable thing beta readers provide: the insight of the reader experience of your story. So guide that expectation for your beta readers clearly. Ask them to simply be readers instead of expecting them to help you revise your structure or fix your pacing. They can tell you what they felt, where they got confused, where they wanted to stop reading, or what they loved. But that only happens when your story is already structurally sound. That's why beta readers should come after your deeper self-editing. Use them as a check to see if your story is coming across on the page as you intended. Then you can use those insights in any further edits. So how do you actually do those deeper self-edits without getting overwhelmed, stuck, or lost in revision indecision? You need a real revision strategy, one that helps you break down your story scene by scene, align your character arc with your theme, decide which feedback to apply, and how to make it work on the page. That's exactly what I'll show you in the next video. Click on your screen now and let's take the overwhelm out of self-editing.